What is up, guys, and welcome to another video, technically the second video on this channel. So this video is not what I was wanting to do technically as my second video, but wanted to try and get a video out. The other two ideas I had can't really visually focus on how I want to get it done, so I'm doing this instead. Today, we're talking about dbrand, and more specifically, seeing as how it's on this channel, dbrand cubes. So, dbrand is, as they put it, really expensive, toxic electric tape, and as most people know them as very expensive electrical tape. So with those names, you can kind of tell that it's going to be pricey in the fact that it's not normal cubes. So let's get started with the actual video. So dbrand has quite a few cubes. I'm going to put up a picture of my collection, and I'm actually going to go to their customization page, 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So as of this moment, you can get 24 different styled cubes. And I'm actually going to show a few of them. The one that you guys are actually seeing is not available because it was a limited edition one, being Inferno, but the ones that they do have, you'll be able to get for quite a while. I'll show a few more later, but these I just wanted to put out as visual of what's going on. So as you can see, I have two of pretty much the same cube. So this one is the Inferno cube. They are essentially the same, but not. So they in their cart, when you have it in your cart, it's gonna say QE speed cubes, and that's what it was for both of them. Way back whenever they first started doing the speed cube ones, it was Thunderclap V3, but then I'm not 100% sure that that's going to be the same. So I don't know. But yeah, this is just to show you that this is kind of different and can't really tell. But if I push these back and bring these over, you'll be able to tell kind of more easily. So the inside, well, we're not going to focus on the stickers just yet. The inside, this one has white on the inside. This one does not. So that's the only difference. Kind of, sort of. The core of the cube is actually the same from what I can tell. There we go. There we go. So the core is actually pretty much the same from what I can tell. It's a basic core, and I think that's because QE does pretty basic cores. They are spring-loaded. They're not maglev, which is a very high-end kind of cube. So they're the basic kind of cubes with springs in them to help with tension. And the differences between these two is slight, but if you have both of them, you will actually notice very quickly the differences in use. So this one is actually magnet free. It is just a pure basic cube. This one has magnets in them. So I can easily, freely turn this and do whatever. However, this one, yeah, you have to use a little bit more force because it has magnets in them. And it will snap into place because the magnets are essentially trying to get to each other, which allows for better alignment. So let me actually put this back together now that we're done looking at them as a separate entity and pretty much done looking at on the insides. There we go. Yeah, this one's pretty tight, and I will tell you why here in a moment. But this one is actually fairly loose, and this one actually is still stock out of the box. It was pre-lubed and whatnots, so this one I actually modified a little bit just by just with the tensions. I didn't lube it. The lube is actually fairly long gone on this one by now, but yeah, the lube is not going to matter too much because of performance. For the way they are, the lube will speed this one up a little bit, but it's not going to be by much. So this one is non-magnetic, so I can put it at a very slight angle, where this one, I could technically do that, but with the slightest pressure on it going the opposite way, it will snap right back to where it is. This one will not. I actually had to do more force to get it back into alignment. So that's pretty much what the magnets do. They help keep the cube aligned, which allows for better movement. Where this one you have to be kind of precise. The cornering, so the round edges here actually help with corner cutting. So kind of you can have it at certain angles and it will cut for you and put it into alignment. That's what those curves are for. However, it doesn't do it at like halfway point. It's not going to turn it. Most cubes don't. There are some cubes, but they don't. Like this one, you can see more flex, and that's because this one's actually much looser than this one. So the reason why this one's much looser is because the magnets actually help keep it together. So it being looser, you can actually have it a much smoother in the fact that it's not as tense. The plastic's not right up against each other. It has more freedom to move around, where this one is actually fairly tight. It's still pretty smooth, but it's tight. So I can take it I can pull it, and you can see how much give it has. So there is quite a bit of give, but this one has much more give, and you could tell with all the other pieces going all over the place, where this one's more tight. You can see these spread out less than these. These move around much more freely. But yeah, so this is the pastel cubes. So it allows me to have different colors on each side, which is basically just like a regular cube where you're going to solve for the colors. And with the pastel, you're going to get 8 different colors. So this one is more of a traditional cube. It has basically the traditional colors, where this one actually does not have, I think it was yellow and white, and instead it has purple and pink. But the rest of it is the same because there's only 8 colors. If this one doesn't have yellow or white, then obviously this one's not gonna. This one, or I'm getting mixed up. If this one doesn't have the yellow or white, then obviously the 2 colors that I didn't use here will be here. So there you go. But that's the pastel. And I'm going to show you guys just a few of the other cubes, and then I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what you guys could get, or what you should get, and for what purpose. So this one is Damascus, and more specifically the Obsidian Damascus. So you can see the multi-layers. It's just using a Damascus look to it, which gives it a very nice look to it. I love Damascus, just in general, with blades and just metal in general. If it has a Damascus pattern to it, it looks beautiful. So them doing a Damascus skin, I scooped it up fairly quickly when they first released it, and then they re-released it, adding Obsidian to it, and Obsidian is my favorite out of all the Damascus. So, and then you have the leather, which there is 3 different colors. You got brown, tan, and black. So this is the tan one, and yeah, there's not much to it. It's all the same. Just absolutely the same. Nothing different. And then the last one I'm going to show you guys is robot camo. It matches my mat. This is my robot camo mat that I custom made because I really I love robot camo. It's very overused at this point, and I'll talk about that here in a moment. But here's robot camo. It's pretty it talks for itself. It's crazy. It has a lot to it, and it would be hard to solve it if you messed it up. So getting to that point, really quickly, I'm going to talk about the robot camo. When it first came out, everybody really loved it, but it's been out for quite a while, and at this point, it's starting to become overused. So if you're going to go with robot camo, go for it, but just remember that it's going to be really overused. It's not going to be special in any real way. But don't let me hinder you if that's what you're going to go for. Okay, so now that that point is done, I'm going to go to my actual points that I wanted to go to. So they have 5, 10, 15, 20, 24 different cubes you can buy. That's a good selection for what skins they have. However, the only one I would actually recommend if you want to use these as a actual cube is the pastel. Pastel is the only viable one to use because it allows you to have those different colors as a regular cube. If you're going for any other cube, it would more than likely be for display. So I'm going to bring it up again. Here's all my cubes and pyramids. This is display pieces. Those cubes I bought purely knowing that it's going to be for display purposes. But I am an enthusiast, and after so many orders with dbrand, I just kept ordering the cubes because I was like, I want to get a collection. I want to complete the collection, and getting the limited edition ones as this one, it was really cool, really fun. Just kind of made my brain happy, you know. Whatever makes you happy, go for it. This is what makes me happy, so I'm going for it. That was my ring. So the 99% of the cubes you will see there are display purposes, really. And on that note, the price on each cube individually is going to run you $30 to $35 depending on tax, and if you're just getting the cube, you're going to pay for shipping. If you're getting multiple cubes, shipping will be free, but you're going to be adding more to your cost. So remember that. So cubes are about $30 to $35, where the pyramids, which I don't have any in here, I can talk about that in a separate video. The pyramids are going to run you about $45 to $50. Well, let's go $45 to $47 because that's already going to get you to that free shipping limit. So you'll have the free shipping. You'll just have to pay for taxes, and depending on where you are in the States or outside of the United States, shipping is going to vary wildly for everybody. And my light is dying. How dare it? Anyways, I can actually just turn it off. I don't really care. Yeah, much darker, but we're pretty much done with that. Anyways, I'm going to be rambling just a little bit longer. So yeah, dbrand cubes are expensive, but they will be more for display unless you're getting the pastel. On the dbrand server, Discord server, I mean, I put my name as the cube collector, and accurately to it with all the cubes and pyramids that I have, it's pretty much become my thing on that server. So with that, I wanted to put my 2 cents out there, and actually had been asked a time or two what I would recommend getting for a cube from them. And so here's kind of my just 2 cents. If you're going for display just because you want one, go for whichever one you want. If you're going for one that you want to just be able to play with, go for pastel. Pastel is going to allow you the freedom to play with it and not mess up patterns and misalign things. Or you could go for leather for playability, just to have a fidget cube, but more than likely I would choose pastel. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll put a link, multiple links down in the description to help you guys find your way to the different pyramids and cubes and whatnots. And yeah, so have a wonderful day or night depending on where you are in the world and when you're watching this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.